In this video, I'm going to be talking about area and perimeter. As a quick recap, there is an important difference between area and perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around the edge. So if you think about let's think of a photo frame. The frame would be the perimeter, the outside part, and then the area is what's on the inside. So you can think of that as the glass over the frame. So it covers all that surface area. The other important difference is perimeter is just measured in our normal units like inches, centimeters, things like that. Area is inches squared, centimeters squared, so we have different units there. So let's take a look at this figure here. It is a composite figure. It is a composite figure because it is not made up of just one, we could say normal shape like a square or triangle. We can see here it's made up of multiple shapes. Looks like we've got two rectangles here. So the first thing we're going to do is find the perimeter. And again, for the perimeter, we just need to add up all the sides. Now, we've been given some sides, but we're going to have to find the measurements of some other sides so we can complete it. So let's take a look here. We've got 12 inches along the top, 3 inches, we're missing a side, 6, 8, missing a side, 2 inches, and we're missing a side over here. So I'm going to start by filling them in. If I take a look at this side, now of course I did not draw this to scale, but ideally we would see that these two sides here are the same. So this one would also be 3 inches. Same right here, this side going up and down is going to be the same length as this side. So this side here is going to be 6 inches as well. So the hardest side to find is probably this one right here, and we're going to have to use this top measurement. So we know that from all the way here to the left, all the way to the right is 12 inches. So that's the same distance from here, and if we were to draw an imaginary line here all the way across. If we know that this segment or this portion of it is 2 inches, this portion of 8 inches, we have to figure out what's left. So 8 plus 2 is 10, so we know from here all the way to here is 10 inches, and then we've got to figure out that last little bit, which is going to be 2 inches as well. And we can check that by doing 2 plus 8 plus 2, and that gives us the whole length of 12. So for perimeter, we just have to add all these up. So I'm just going to start at the top at 12 inches, and I'm going to work my way around. So 12 plus 3 plus 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 2 plus 3. You may want to have some sort of system of marking to make sure that you hit all of the sides and don't accidentally repeat it. But when we add all that up, we do get 42 inches. So that's going to be our perimeter. And then for area is going to be a little trickier because we don't have a formula for this particular shape. We can't just plug things in, so we're actually going to have to split it up into 2. You might have to split it up into 3 or 4 shapes. In this case, we can split it up into 2 rectangles. And really, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. With this line here, hopefully you can already see that we've got a rectangle down here and a rectangle up here. But there are other ways to split it up. You could split this into 3 rectangles up top, and you could do 2 smaller rectangles on either side. It's really up to you and how you see it. But I have split these into 2 here, so I'm just going to use that. So when I find the area, I'm going to have to find the area of 2 different shapes and then add them together, and that sum would be the area of the entire figure. So if I start here with the top rectangle, area for a rectangle is length times width. I'll make a note of that right here, length times width. So area, and I'm just going to put a little 1 here to say area of my first rectangle is going to be length 12 times 3, so 12 inches times 3 inches. And that is going to give me an area of 36 inches. And then when we find area, it's inches squared. Now I've got to find the area of the second rectangle, so I'm going to call that area 2. So again, it's still length times width, but this time we've got a different length and a different width. So length 8, width 6. So it's going to be 8 inches times 6 inches. And 8 times 6 is 48 inches squared. So now I have the areas of the 2 individual rectangles, but again, if we want the area of the whole thing, we're going to have to add them together. So 36 inches squared plus 48 inches squared gives me a total of 84 inches squared, and that is going to be the area of my entire figure. And then again, that perimeter was 42 inches.